In Uganda, a child is defined as a person under the age of 18, as stipulated in the 1995 Constitution of Uganda, the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Children, and the African Charter on the Rights and Welfare of the Child. Article 34 of the 1995 Constitution of Uganda guarantees children the right to know and be cared for by their parents or legal guardians. It also ensures the right to education and protection from exploitation. Additional rights include protection from discrimination, inhuman treatment, slavery and forced labor. Children are also entitled to a name and nationality, the right to grow up in a peaceful, caring and secure environment, and to have access to basic necessities such as food, health care, clothing and shelter. Furthermore, children have the right to know their parents and to enjoy family life with them. According to the 2024 Police Annual Crime Report, 4.3% of the reported cases were related to child-related offences, with 9,408 cases in which children or juveniles were direct targets of victims of the crime in 2024. This marks a decrease from the 10,741 cases reported in 2023, reflecting a 12.4% reduction in crimes within this category nationwide. Among the leading child-related offences in 2024 were child neglect with 3,663 cases, children going missing or disappearing with 2,237 cases, child desertion with 1,597 cases, and child abuse or torture with 787 cases. Other offences included child trafficking, child stealing, child abduction or kidnapping, abortion and infanticide, all of which violate the provisions outlined in the 1995 Constitution of Uganda. According to the Uganda Police, by the end of 2024, out of the total cases of child-related offences reported, 862 cases were taken to court, 4,183 cases were not proceeded with, and 4,363 cases remain under inquiry. Of the cases taken to court, 207 resulted in convictions, 97 were dismissed, 66 were acquitted, and 492 cases are still pending in court. However, the causes of child abuse are triggered by several factors, as explained by some experts.
Child abuse can be in any form as long as you are causing unnecessary discomfort. But for us as parents, we know that we can cause a little discomfort to our children. Like if they haven't washed things, they haven't done well, they haven't studied well. We are not saying that we let children go far, like they just be there. But what we are saying is that the time it comes to child abuse, it means it is either physically, on the physical body, or physical, emotional, the way the child is thinking or mentally. The child sees, you coming and the heart rate goes up, they start blinking, they start developing all sorts of post-traumatic, symptoms because they have been traumatized.
Anything that you do, or you can say, or you can you can say to a child that threatens their well-being is child abuse. So that is how I can say it now. And these abuses usually, the way they even affect us adults, they also affect children. They can be physical abuse, they can be emotional abuse.
According to Hanifa Singh, a pediatrician, the most common form of child abuse today is child sexual abuse, often perpetrated by adult men and women, including uncles and aunties who seduce the children. She urges parents to remain vigilant and closely monitor their children, despite their busy schedules.
Child sexual abuse is very common. Those uncles we bring in our homes, and you say, hey, this is the uncle. Uncle has no problem. They sleep almost in the same room. You don't lock the rooms. We are kuzoganya, we are moving up and down. We leave them at home. Koja is there. My young brother came to see me. Is there? You've left them and holiday is coming. You are leaving them in the homes. Worst, you are leaving that television on.
Sexual abuse. Children are suffering from the sexual abuse. We can talk about the neglect. For them, they even suffer from negligence. No wonder that's why we make it even more criminal. That when you leave them, and it can affect you.
Dr. Hanifa Singh explored more on the effects of child abuse ranging from physical to mental.
Post-traumatic syndrome is so evident that our children cannot even concentrate in school. But also remember, these other ones like depression, they feel so used. That is the bigger ones, those teens. They feel at a point, oh, I was used. So the way the body reacts, the brain wiring is to cut off themselves. So they get depressed, everything, they have disinterest, they can't eat, they can't do anything, they are just down the downside of things.
Much as the government has come up with several mechanisms of addressing child abuse in the country, key responsibility begins with the parents, as explained.
Government has come up, I know we have family units that, help in trying to, combat all this. But for me, my key message is that it begins with us as parents. And of course, when we go to the schools, by the way, tend to be very protective. But what I've seen is that when children are sent for school fees, they connect themselves there. Or the day the children report to go back home, they have their plots. They have their dates, meeting dates or plots, whatever they call them.
Protecting children from abuse is a collective responsibility. Even you, journalists and everybody. It is not a police work alone. Kindly let us join hands and fight for the welfare of children. Healing from childhood trauma and abuse is very costly. It is affecting us even in the childhood, in the adulthood.
A violent-free child is a responsibility of every Ugandan, as the young children are the leaders of tomorrow. Together we can nurture men and women of valor. John Baptista Humza, Church of Uganda, Family TV News at 8.